Backchat TV. Subscribe.
He has also talked about it. That left hook is so good, and it's so long and so precise and so hard, but
What's going on, guys? It's Backchat TV and I'm back with another video. Do I still got it? Robbery or maybe not? Teofimo Lopez gets a decision win, majority decision win over Jamaine Ortiz. This was a very difficult fight. A lot of things to say in this video. I'm going to try not to make it a long one. I made a prediction video a few hours before the fight where I was quite scathing on Ortiz. I said he doesn't have a chance. In all these previous fights, I haven't really seen any talent, any particular talent. I said that he doesn't have a chance against someone with the skill set of Lopez, the movement and the power and everything. And I dismissed Ortiz completely. I dismissed him. I actually think I said 7th round. I predict Lopez to stop him by the 7th round. And although I was correct about the outcome, Lopez winning the fight, just completely forget about me being correct. What I thought would happen was something completely different. I got this wrong. And I'll admit it, I got the whole thing wrong. I was quite surprised. I didn't know Ortiz could even box like this, to be honest. I'd only ever seen Ortiz throwing a lot of punches, being a volume puncher, being easy to hit when he comes forward. I didn't know that he could do the things he did tonight against Teofimo. And Teofimo, he was worse than I've seen him since the Sandor Martin fight. So that must be the prescription to beat him, you know. The tactics that Ortiz employed, I think, have to be respected. A lot of people are saying he was running. He didn't throw any punches, he was running. How can you be running and say that you won? He wasn't just running, to be honest. Yes, of course, it was just a bad performance by both of them. But Ortiz, he was countering. He was frustrating Lopez, moving around, ducking. His distance control was great. Lopez never had any jab. Maybe this is why his dad was talking about like jabbing, trying to get that jab going too. Maybe after Lopez lost to Sandor Martin, unofficially lost. We all know he lost to Sandor Martin. He was working on his son jabbing all the time. And then apparently that kind of didn't work out. And I think maybe that was why he wanted him to jab, because Lopez is not that good at closing the distance when someone is being defensive like that. You know, he didn't throw hardly any jabs and he couldn't cut off the ring when Ortiz was moving, and he just couldn't get close. And when he did get close, when he finally did get close contact, close range with Ortiz, Ortiz actually had the faster hand speed. He would let off some shots, bam, 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 and then he'd circle out. And Lopez was missing a lot of shots, even on the inside. Personally, I think Ortiz beat Lopez even on the inside. And then on the outside, he definitely beat Lopez. So, you know, for me, this decision was incorrect. I think, you know, love him or hate him, Ortiz was running and moving and hardly throwing any shots. But I think Ortiz won this fight. If you prefer the person who is the aggressor, and this was always going to be the issue, Teofimo was the aggressor from round 1 to the last round. He was coming forward, he was the aggressor, trying to make the fight, calling out to the crowd to try to get this guy to come forward and fight me. But there was a few times when Teo was like goading him to come forward and he went in the corner, and Ortiz actually replied and came into the corner and threw a barrage of shots which he actually caught Teo with, you know. And a lot of the exchanges that did happen, and there were very few, I thought Ortiz won them, to be honest. He would come through every now and then with a burst of punches, and you know, he landed some. Obviously Lopez blocked a couple of them, but he landed a lot of sneaky shots in there, and Lopez just seemed to be a few paces behind Ortiz throughout the whole fight. That's how I saw it. Now, I've got a good friend of mine, and he saw it totally the other way. So it just goes to show, you know, a good friend of mine said that what I was saying is crazy. Lopez was the aggressor coming forward. He landed more shots, and Ortiz was only running, and he didn't throw any punches. But I feel like Ortiz never initiated any punches. It doesn't mean he didn't throw any punches. He didn't initiate anything because he had Lopez frustrated, and he had Lopez overreaching because he couldn't close the distance on Ortiz. Lopez had to overextend himself all the time, and whenever he did that, Ortiz would counter him. You know, so Ortiz was either countering him from the outside, or he was stopping him from working when he would get on the inside, and he was landing some nice quick firepower, you know, combination of shots on the inside, and he was circling and out, and Lopez really didn't do anything to Ortiz. You know, he didn't land any significant punches. The most significant punch, or I should say, the most significant attack was the headbutt. That was about it. That headbutt made it look like the fight was a bit closer. But, I mean, Lopez did something. I don't want to say Lopez never caught him. You know, he caught him a few times when he did close the gap. He threw a few punches. He caught him a couple of times when maybe Ortiz tried to circle out, and, you know, he would catch him with some glancing blows, but nothing significant from both men, to be honest. You know, it was a boring fight. I found myself getting quite tired. I thought Ortiz won the first round. Lopez may have won the second round. But then after that, you know, third, fourth, fifth, even the sixth, I think it was all Ortiz. Now, Lopez had a strong seventh round. He definitely won the seventh round. But then Ortiz got back on his boxing, and I think he won the eighth round. And it's like Lopez couldn't get any momentum when he did do well, like in the seventh round. He couldn't build on that. I think Ortiz won the eighth round and maybe the ninth round. And I think maybe the last two rounds, I think maybe Lopez won, as Ortiz just kind of slowed down a bit. But, you know, for me, this was a boxing clinic, really. I know it was a little bit boring, and, you know, but Ortiz, I didn't know Ortiz could do this stuff. I just didn't know. On the back foot like that, jabbing, those sneaky little shots that he was landing, making him miss and then countering him. You know, it was some beautiful stuff. Yes, I would have liked to see Ortiz more active, but there were a few times when he did come in with combinations and throw hard shots, and it was few and far between, but he did do it. I have seen worse running than this before. I've seen fighters running and just not throwing any punches, and that wasn't exactly how it was. Like I said, Ortiz, for me, he didn't initiate anything, but he was countering everything. You know, he countered a lot of the shots that Ortiz missed. He was basically just waiting for Ortiz was basically waiting for Lopez to make mistakes and overextend, and that's the only time he would counter or come in with combinations. Other than that, when Lopez was in position to punch, Ortiz was completely disengaging. So you could say that's running. It was a boring fight. The fans were booing. They wanted Ortiz to come forward. Lopez was trying to make the fight. But I feel like Lopez was kind of playing on the fact that he was a bit embarrassed that he couldn't hit him. So he was trying to pretend as if, you know, oh, this guy's running and stuff. But, you know, Lopez didn't cut off the ring. He couldn't land any power punches. He didn't have any significant punches at all. Ortiz was dancing rings around him for the first eight rounds. I think it took like 7-8 rounds for Lopez to just try to figure out what to do to catch him, you know. And then he, like I said, he had a good seventh round. I think he had a good second round, seventh round. I have to watch it again to know exactly which rounds I thought Ortiz won and which rounds Lopez won, to be more accurate. But I do think overall Ortiz should be the champion. No matter how ugly you think it was, he outboxed him. Clearly, I was wrong, and I am a Lopez fan, and I have to say I think it's a robbery. I think it's a robbery. Ortiz won. Now, the 111, 117, 111 scorecard, I think was just ridiculous. Even if you like aggression, you wouldn't say that, you know, Basically, that's saying Ortiz didn't do anything. That's not true. You know, the 13, was it 13-12? 15-12 or something like that scorecard, 15-13, something like that. That's more accurate. You know, if it turned out to be a draw, I would be okay with that because nobody really landed anything. But if I had to pick a winner, I'd probably go with the split decision to Ortiz, and even a majority decision to Ortiz. Honestly, I think Ortiz's boxing was really good. Just a little bit more aggression and to initiate a few more of the exchanges, and I think he would have clearly won. But other than that, I had a robbery, ladies and gentlemen. Now let me know what you think. I don't want to make it too long. Do you think Ortiz won? I'm still confused. I don't think Lopez is as good as I thought he was, or maybe it's just the style. You know, the funny thing is, the writing was on the wall when he fought Sandor Martin. You know, it really was, because Ortiz did exactly the same thing. Lopez could not cut off the ring against Sandor Martin, and Sandor got robbed in that fight, I thought, and I feel like Ortiz got robbed in this fight. So I don't know what the judges saw, but that's how I felt about it. Does Lopez beat someone like Devin Haney? No chance. Before this fight, I still would have gone for Devin Haney beating Lopez, because I hold Devin Haney really highly. Personally, I think he's one of the best. Outside of Gervonta Davis, I think he's the best. But I thought it would be competitive because of what Lopez did to Josh Taylor. But I feel like it's all about the styles. You know, Josh Taylor is quite aggressive-minded, and that brings out the best in Lopez. But it just goes to show, if you box him on the back foot, not engaging and not allowing him to use his combination and to use his power, then Lopez looks really ordinary. To Lopez's credit, which I haven't said anything good about Lopez, to be honest, I do think he closed out the rounds quite good as Ortiz started to get tired, and I think Lopez started to land the last 2 rounds. But other than that, it was a shutout for me. So, have I still got it? No, I don't think he's still got it, to be honest. Let me know what you think in the comments. I'm on to the next one.
I said, guess who's back? Man, guess who's back? I said, guess who's